Hey everybody, Mark Edward Lewis here from CinemaSound.com. Today we're going to be adding another entry into our series of videos on comparing and contrasting Adobe Premiere Pro with Blackmagic Davinci Resolve Fairlight page. Today we're going to be looking at the combo plugins, channels and dynamics, all put together. Let's see how they stand up to each other. Let's roll. All right, we're here in Davinci Resolve and Adobe Premiere Pro. We probably shouldn't be running both of these at the same time, but I've got a lot of video RAM, so we should be all right. I've got a piece that I've recorded on my iPhone out in a semi-noisy exterior environment, and we're going to be comparing sort of apples and oranges, but it's fun to compare the Dynamics audio plugin with the dialogue processor from Resolve. Let's take a look in Premiere, and we'll just listen to this little clip all by itself.
Now, here's me outside with some crickets and birds. And again, on my iPhone audio microphone on the front. Oh, there's some cicadas. Let's see how we can make this sound any good.
Now, surprisingly, that iPhone mic, actually, it's the 12 Max, Pro Max. It's not too bad. I got a lot of resonance. I'm pretty close to it. But it's obviously picking up all kinds of things. And there's stuff that we would want to kind of kill and control. And if we could do a little auto gating or expansion, maybe some excitement, maybe some kind of frequency work, we would want to. Let's take a look here at the Premiere Pro preset, the Premiere Pro plugin, which is the Dynamics. And this is new for both Audition and Premiere. It comes with an auto gate. It has a compressor, an expander, and a limiter, some of the basic things that we would want to see. And the compressor has quite a few of the normal controls that we would expect. Attack release, there's the makeup gain, an obvious ratio, the threshold. And then over here on the expander side, we see this I normally would want to see more than just these controls for an expander, but real estate here is at a premium on a single plugin. And then the auto gate is this very, this usual suspects, threshold, attack release, and then hold. So I'm going to turn these off and kind of show you what each one of these will do.
Now, here's me outside with some crickets and birds.
And you can see it's doing a pretty good job of, killing off stuff that we don't want to hear. It gets obviously really dead. You can't control how far down it pulls it, unfortunately, but it does help in bringing down surface noise. You would obviously be adding room tone behind this if you wanted to.
And again, on my iPhone audio microphone on the front. Oh, there's some cicadas.
And then the compressor, we just do a simple setting here, and it definitely does a great job.
See how we can make this sound any good. Now, here's me outside with some crickets and birds. And again, on my iPhone audio microphone on the front. Oh, there's some cicadas. Let's see how we can make this sound any good.
So that's not too bad. If we listen, obviously it's a pretty draconian setting. I'm giving it to you so you can hear it streaming. We have a limiter that basically gives any transients a haircut.
Now, here's me outside with some crickets and birds.
And it's pretty subtle right now. If we use the expander, expanders, given the right kind of bells and whistles, are really, in my mind, superior to auto gates in controlling noise. But in this case, the expander doesn't quite do it because we need the attack and release and the ability to say how much is it pulling down and attenuating the signal, which we don't have here.
And again, on my iPhone audio microphone on the front. Oh, there's some cicadas. Let's see how we can make this sound any good.
And it does a lot of stuttering, which isn't great. So we're kind of relegated to the auto gate, compressor, and limiter.
Now, here's me outside with some crickets and...
But for doing some general control real fast, this works pretty well. Let's take a look at what's available in Resolve. There's two plugins that we have, the dialogue processor and the vocal processor. But the dialogue processor is much more attuned and better for use in post. It has a bunch of things that the Premiere plugin doesn't have, including the de-esser, a de-popper, a de-rumbler, and an exciter. In fact, the only two things here that aren't common, or that are common, is a compressor and expander. This is missing the limiter and the auto gate. I'm going to turn on this and just kind of show you each one of these as they bear. Here's de-rumble.
Crickets and... Now, here's me outside with some crickets and birds. And again,
The problem with derumble is it doesn't really take care of rumble. It just takes out low frequencies. So you might as well just have a high pass filter. I'm not a fan of this particular plugin. Depop
my
works
iPhone
pretty well.
audio microphone on the front. Oh, there's. Now here's me outside with some.
I just don't have any pops to show you about it. But if you have any microphone plosives, it does a pretty good job of just kind of ducking the low frequencies. You get to decide what those frequencies are. It's pretty low tech, I got to tell you, but it works, sort of. Here's the de-esser.
Crickets and. Now here's me outside with some crickets and birds.
And I wouldn't use this de-esser unless I was also using the exciter. And now this exciter is very, very smart. And it is basically able to harmonically add frequencies without an EQ to the sibilants and all these other kinds of things. Check out how smart it is. Even if we turn up the de-esser and really control those sibilants, what happens?
Now here's me outside with some crickets and birds. And again, on my iPhone audio microphone on the.
I got to play this again.
The front. Oh, there's some cicadas. Now here's me outside with some crickets and birds.
And when you combine these two, the de-esser and the exciter, it makes a really cool kind of control. Then we have a compressor, pretty obvious. You have a fast and a slow setting. The fast setting's more than enough. I'm not 100% sure what this amount does, but it's there if you want to move with it.
Now here's me outside with some crickets and birds.
And then you have an expander.
Now here's me outside with some crickets and birds. And again, on my iPhone audio.
Now here we have a range so that we can say, don't pull it down 30 decibels, just pull it down a little bit.
Now here's me outside with some crickets and birds. And again, on my iPhone audio microphone on the front. Oh, there's some cicadas.
And with the range down a little bit, it makes that jitteriness a little less painful to hear. This isn't perfect, but for quick use, quick dropping in of just, I need to clean up the audio really fast, this works pretty well. And I would give the edge to Davinci Resolve over the Dynamics plugin in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, would I use the Dynamics plugin in Premiere Pro to do the same thing that I would in Davinci Resolve? No way. I'll use the Essential Sound Panel, which is way smarter, way faster. And I've got a video on comparing that with this plugin and anything else, including the, let's see if I can pull it up here, the Cinema Sound audio preset library, which is an incredibly powerful library that we have available at cinemasound.com that makes Davinci Resolve about twice as useful. But even with that involved, we also have it for Premiere Pro. The Essential Sound Panel kind of kills it. But and this is it. We'll talk about this in another video. But just strictly between these combo plugins, I would have to give the edge to Davinci Resolve. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you. If so, please subscribe to us here at Cinema Sound, our YouTube channel where we have hundreds and hundreds of videos to help you get that Hollywood-level $1 million audience impact into your productions without having to make your budget any bigger. And definitely come see us at cinemasound.com where we have the world's only fully comprehensive audio education for picture that takes you from knowing nothing about audio all the way to delivering in 5.1 Dolby. As well as hundreds and hundreds of articles that help you know how to do it all in very distinct and educational detail. Hopefully we'll see you there. If not, we will see you in post.
Even if for yourself.